President Cyril Ramaphosa has declared a special official funeral for human rights lawyer advocate George Bizos. Ramaphosa says Bizos was one of the best legal minds in South Africa and contributed immensely to attaining democracy. The South African national flag will also fly at half-mast from today until Thursday in honor of the struggle stalwart. Bizos died on Wednesday at the age of 92. And of course, to talk more on this, I'm now joined by Eleni Bizos, who's the granddaughter of advocate George Bizos. Good evening, and thank you so much for your time tonight, Eleni. I certainly do understand that this is, of course, a difficult moment for the family, but to a lot of South Africans, advocate George Bizos was known as a freedom fighter, somebody that was really standing up for human rights and making sure that they're not violated in one way or another. But you shared a very special relationship with him, the relationship of a granddaughter and a grandfather. Tell us about that.
Evening. Thank you for having me. Yeah, it's been a difficult few days for me and my family. It's a loss to us and a loss to everyone. He was just so caring and loving for all of us, and such an affectionate man. During COVID, obviously, we tried not to come and hug him and kiss him, and he really struggled with that. And as he got sicker, I had COVID in July and then had recovered, and we kind of decided that it's fine for me to hug him. And I just remember hugging him, and he just sort of leant into me because he hadn't had a hug for so long. And it's difficult now knowing that I won't be able to do that again. He was proud of all of us, no matter how big or small the accomplishment was. He was proud, and yeah, he was an amazing grandfather and will be sorely missed by us all.
And the smile on your face really tells me that you shared some really, light-hearted moments with him, some special moments with him. What are some of those that really stand out for you?
So as a Greek family, I'm sure other Greek families will attest to it, that food is very important to us. So a lot of people have brought it up, but he used to love his vegetable garden. And as a little girl coming to visit him at the home that I'm actually sitting in now, he would take me to the vegetable garden and cut all the vegetables and say, here's some. And I was like, no, Papu, it's enough. It's enough. And he says, no. And he would just carry on giving me more and more food. And he would love telling us stories about the village in Greece, Vasilitsi, with him and his siblings. Often he would tell us stories about all the legal battles he did. Sometimes I went a bit over my head because I don't know all the legal terms. But there are so many stories. And if I had many hours, I could tell you all the little things. But he just was such a loving grandfather. And I always felt so at home in this home. Being here now is there's something empty here because he's no longer here and no longer able to speak to us and sing to us and say his poems that he loved so much.
And Eleni, when you talk to him, obviously as a granddaughter, and as you say that he would talk about a lot of the work that he was doing in the legal fraternity, and some of it, as you say, went over your head, but the passion was really there on every single case that he really took up. And when you would ask him, what did he say to you was really the driving force for him to take up such matters?
So I don't ever mattered what type of case he was. It doesn't matter if it was the biggest case or the smallest case. He put all his passion into it. For him, it didn't matter what it was for. It was just about being a good person. That was it. It was making sure that everyone was fought for, the little person, the big person. But if it was what he believed was right, he would fight for it. It didn't matter.
And it sounds like, as you say, when you guys would go to his vegetable gardens and he would give you all that, those vegetables, he really was active, right up until, a time where a number of people would have expected him to go into retirement and go out of the public eye. How important was it for him to really be as active as he was, both on the home front and also on the legal front?
So, yeah, I mean, probably even sort of 6 months ago, he was still wanting to go to work and speak to people and give people advice. And often you'd say, okay, but Papu, you had been sick. Let's just take a time. No, I must go. I think he always felt that there was a battle to fight, and he never wanted to let anyone down. That was his main thing. He never wanted to say no. He never wanted to let people down, really. And I never, in my personal belief, he never let anyone down. He never let me down or my family. And yeah, it's weird. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. I completely understand. And did he ever talk to you about, his views on the country, and just what he was thinking about what is happening on the political front?
So with me, it didn't often. We often had more philosophical discussions and light-hearted discussions. I think more with my brother and my other cousin who's in law at the moment, they maybe discussed it a bit more. But I know for him, like I said before, it's just people need to do the good thing, the right thing. And yeah, he didn't often speak to me about it. I know to other people, and I saw him on some interviews, he did bring up some of the things that he didn't believe were going right, and some of the things that maybe the NC didn't stand for before that have changed a little bit. But I think in all, yeah, as long as people do what is right, he's happy.
And a lot of love has really been outpouring from South Africans for your grandfather, and understandably so, because he touched so many lives, and even the president himself truly honoring him and even giving him such a special, official funeral. How does the family feel about all the love that, you have been receiving, and even this honor of getting such a special funeral?
So my grandfather never did anything to be in the limelight. It was just, like I said, being a good person. But obviously we are grateful. And so these letters that we've been receiving from strangers, from people that we know, it's heartwarming and helps us with this time of grief. It's just nice that people remember what he did, and they acknowledge it. It really does mean a lot to us.
And what does the family want his legacy to be?
I think it's very basic. It's just freedom and equality for all. I know it's been brought up a few times that my grandfather always thought that youth make the country. And maybe that's why he also looked at making the HETI so that he could empower students and make sure that they had somewhere to go and study and do well themselves. And I think if we can get the youth right, South Africa can reach its full potential. That's what I think he would believe, and that's what I believe, truly.
Eleni, thank you so much for your time tonight, and I certainly, I'm sure a lot of South Africans watching tonight are feeling the warmth that you shared with your grandfather, because it really is resonating, and even that smile on your face is truly something to behold, because as you remember your grandfather, certainly South Africa is truly remembering its giant, and our condolences to you and the family, and truly this is, someone that South Africa really has honored, and truly who has done so much work, and certainly our thoughts and prayers are still with you tonight. That's Eleni Bizos, who's the granddaughter of George Bizos, and certainly just taking us through some of those special moments that she shared with her grandfather.